So thank you, and I'm honored to welcome Paul Pinsky, who's now the director of Maryland Energy Administration, but he's a longtime friend. Was a state senator in Maryland. He is one of those champions of environment and social justice that goes back a long time. He's not new to this, and so I'm so thankful that you're here today, but also glad you landed in a place where you can continue doing good. I'm really pleased with this project, and I'm really happy with the direction Montgomery County is going in. And I want you to know that we're actually getting a reputation beyond our borders. I was actually invited to speak in Taiwan on climate change and what jurisdictions are doing on climate change with the Smart Cities program. That Taiwan's a long way from here. And when you go over, it's 12 hours if you're into the time change, exactly. And when you go over there and talk to people, you discover they actually know a lot about Montgomery County. And it's good to have an international reputation and have people think of you as a leader in this space. And I was really happy to hear that. I also want to acknowledge Letitia Gossaway-Paul, who's the spokesperson for this project. Thank you so much. And the Group Resident Services Coordinator, Marcia Smith. We weren't joking. We were looking here at the rooftops here and thinking, you know, this is another way to cut the costs of residents on their utility bills. We could solarize this. And so that's probably our next conversation, is what we could do to move this. Can we do to move this forward? This community dates back to the late 19th century, following the end of the Civil War. Black families started to look for places, and we know that out here and along River Road, families were able to find places to set themselves up. And then we also know that in the 60s, the families had to euphemistically fight progress. Means they wanted to hold on to their land and keep from being displaced by developers who would pay them pennies of what the land was worth and wind up building incredibly expensive homes. And so the survival of this community and the building of this community, I think, is a really landmark, and it says a lot for our, what the county was willing to do, and we continue to be willing to do to deal with social justice issues and racial equity issues. I brought them together here to help show the community I brought everybody here together to show how important it was to help Scotland modernize. And I think it's just really important, the work we're doing here. And I ran into one of your residents last night when I was in downtown Bethesda, Mr. Dove. And he said I can't be here today, but he was also excited about this and knew that we were coming out here. That's kind of good. Thank you for letting people know. The solar project's the next step in this modernization. It's going to be a resiliency hub. David talked about the ability to provide a place that will always have power, heating, and cooling, all the things people need when sometimes things go wrong environmentally and you lose your power. You're going to be able to go in there and charge your cell phones, your laptops, other devices. You're going to be able to refrigerate sensitive items. So, one of the things that happens when you lose power, people can't keep medicines that need to be refrigerated cool. This is going to help people deal with that problem. So there are a lot of important things, and we've already seen, resiliency hubs in the works or in the process. We had an airplane fly into a tower. That was the strangest thing I've ever seen. I have no idea how the tower didn't come down or the airplane didn't get shredded, but it just hung up there. And it also knocked out power for a large number of people, but because of improvements that have been made to the grid, the power outage lasted far shorter and affected far fewer people than had been originally anticipated. And so the kind of work that's being done, both by us but our other partners, in terms of strengthening the grid and making it more resilient, is important for everybody. And lastly, I want to thank Department of Recreation. You do amazing work. You make the county proud when you're in the communities. And I want to thank our General Services Department for continuing to deliver projects that we can point to and say, this is what Montgomery County is about, this is the direction we're going in, and we can make these things work. And David, you were, I think it was at the bus depot or the facility in Brookville? The other one, where all the legislators came.
Oh, MTOC, yeah.
Yeah, we were at the MTOC facility, and the state legislators, new ones, did a tour of that facility. And what was remarkable is a lot of people didn't realize they could do this stuff. They had just assumed that it was too expensive and not manageable. And when David talked about it, and he even said, we have none of our money in some of this. We have other people's money here. You really got people's attentions. I mean, one of the problems with moving forward with the things we want to do in solar and clean energy is a lot of people are bound by the skepticism of 10, 20 years ago, and they don't see what's possible. And so I always tell people the value of what Montgomery County does isn't that we're going to save the world in Montgomery County. That's not physically possible. But what we are going to do is we are a pilot for other people. We can show people what can be done and that we can make it work so they don't have the fear and trepidation that keeps them from doing things. So thank you for helping make us a model, and I will turn it over to, I guess, Paul, you're next.